All right, everyone. Thank you for coming this evening on this gorgeous, gorgeous September evening. For those of you that don't know, I am Shirley Verico. I'm the curator and director of visual arts here at Buffalo Art Studio. I am really excited. I believe there are a number of UB students here. Please come visit us again. We are free and open to the public Tuesdays through Friday from 10 until 5 and Saturdays from 10 until 2. So I remember what it was like to be a poor UB student. There's not another word for it. And it's great that there are places like Buffalo Art Studio that are free. So I encourage y'all to come and visit us. We do change our exhibitions about every 6 weeks. And we really are part of a community. And we talk about that a lot here. Buffalo Art Studio, it's a community of artists for the community. And I'm really excited tonight that we are presenting two University at Buffalo professors. I myself am a double UB grad. I did my undergraduate degree. I have a BFA from UB, and then I have a Master's of Arts and Humanities from UB. So it is very, very special to me. And the relationship with Buffalo Art Studios has cultivated over the last decade with the University of Buffalo has meant a lot to me personally, and I think a lot to both institutions. So I'm really, really excited about that. So thank you all for coming. We are able to be here tonight thanks in part to M&T Bank and their funding. We are part of the Fourth Friday at Tri-Main. Some of you may have noticed there are other arts organizations open tonight. There's also a film festival for our dear friends at Journey's End Refugee Resettlement Organization, a fantastic organization. If you don't know about them, I encourage you to look into them a little bit more. We are also able to be here tonight through a series of funders, including the New York State Council for the Arts, the Cameron and Jane Baird Foundation, Erie County. We also have some money, and this is one of our projects, one of our exhibition projects through the National Endowment for the Arts. And that is really exciting because it allows us to present ambitious projects like what we have here tonight. And as the curator, I can tell you that these were ambitious projects. And I'm sure both of the artists can speak a little bit to that. And I do want to give a shout out, and I see him on his phone, to our contract installer, Gareth Lichty, who is not only incredibly skillful, he is delightful and joyful. When I send him crazy texts like, I'm afraid the shelf is falling off the wall, what do I do? So it is really, again, this idea of community. We could not do what we do here if it was just the 5 of us that work here. And I'm going to just give a shout out to the staff. I don't see Alma, but she's in the room. We do have Sydney O'Shea, who is our development and event coordinator. We have Lauren McLaughlin, who is our operations manager and the director of all crazy things tech that we can't figure out. And then Alma, our executive director, who is probably zipping around, making sure that no one's missing out on the talk. So thank you all for coming. These projects are about 2 years in the making, and they were part of a larger project called Waterfront View. And for those of us here, living here in the Great Lakes, I grew up on Grand Island. Thinking about the water and the waterfront, I think, is a little bit different for us than maybe it is for people that live in the middle of the country. And what I was really thinking about is the way the waterfront has changed from this perspective that it was a common good, a common asset to everybody, to this sort of rarefied and commodified entity that needed to be not just restricted, but then sort of sold back to us. And this idea really stuck with me, and I started to look for artists that were dealing with issues of the environment and what is going on along the waterfront here at Buffalo. And when I did a studio visit about 2 years ago with Joan, I was captivated by the work, the amazing paintings that we see on the pedestal above us, before me, but also with the drawings. I am of a certain age that I remember very, very vividly Love Canal. I remember when I was seeing on TV what was going on. I grew up on Grand Island, what was just a few miles away from me. I remember the influx of students into my school because they had to leave their school, they had to leave their neighborhood. And I think it's incredibly important that we remember that this is the legacy in our community, and we not forget it. I know I'm not going to do the math out loud. It's been a few years. But this is true, and when we talk about the Bitcoin mining that's going along, that's happening in the same factories, in the same communities. If we don't remember our history, I mean, we all know it's doomed to repeat it, and it seems that somehow we are. So I was very, very captivated by this work. I hope you all take the time to look closely and to really appreciate the tremendous talent, obviously, but also the dedication and the diligence of Joan. So I am pleased to invite up here and introduce Joan Linder, one of our two artists. And when Joan is done speaking, we are going to, as efficiently as possible, move into the center gallery so that we can also talk about Stephanie. But thank you so much, Joan. It's been a pleasure for two plus years to be working on this project, and we did it.
Thanks, Shirley. Number one, I can't believe that we had this conversation. Shirley was the first person to come to my studio and look at these boxes in the making when I had the idea for the show. And do I have to thank Niska and all those people, or did you cover it?
You just say ditto.
And ditto to that, but oh my God, I can't believe how many people are here. It's so awesome, friends, colleagues, family, art community, and it's so cool to show this work in Buffalo because it's all Buffalo work. I did a big project about Love Canal and radioactive waste sites starting in about 2014 to not 2014, what am I saying? It was early. That I showed in 2016 here, looking at these sites, and after that I said I was not going to look at depressing industrial toxic waste sites anymore, that was not a way to make art. It was too much of a bummer, and in COVID, there's a thread of my work that's very much about being domestic. After drawing Zoom meetings, I started to make Amazon boxes because it seemed to be taking over the neighborhood and the commerce, and I thought it would be funny at some point to do a show of Amazon boxes that were handmade. So I was working on that, and then I had read in the paper about the crypto mining up in Tonawanda and the noise, and after reading the paper, did some reconnaissance and went up to Buffalo Avenue in Niagara Falls and found just a mile down the road from Love Canal, there was crypto mining on the old DuPont chemical site, and I thought that was fascinating, and it was not historic, it was present, but it was tied to the past work, so I started driving around town and thought of this project as just kind of looking at the back end of screen culture and e-commerce and thinking about how the Falls turns water into electricity and now into money and, you know, all of this stuff. And to kind of take it a little bit less just about the sites, I also wanted to show the context for where all of this stuff is happening, stuff that we don't really think about being right in our backyard, all, you know, like crypto mining. So the drawing on the long shelf is the old American Axle plant, which has crypto mining in it off of East Delavan Street, and then this is the Joseph Kelly Gardens right across the street where people live. And all of these sites, most of them are embedded in neighborhoods. So the other thing that I wanted to say about this body of work is at the other end of the gallery is a video that Anna Lavatelli worked on with me, doing video stills of 3 different fulfillment centers and crypto mining sites in and around the Buffalo area, as well as across the street. So to give you a little bit more context. Anyways, it's just drawings of boxes, and thank you for coming. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you. And you can go in 2 ways. We're going to move into the center gallery for Stephanie's installation, and we're going to all just enjoy a little aquadasia.